Yo, what's up, everybody? Stand 'em up here as always. Today, I'm going to be ranking the best UFC strikers from S tier to D tier. S tier is elite, of course, and then from there on, it goes a bit lower. Now, of course, all the strikers here are great strikers. I'd even say elite S is just, the best of the best, the cream de la crop, as they say. D tier fighters are still good strikers. C, B, A as well, of course, but if your favorite fighter is on D tier, it doesn't mean that he's bad. It just means that out of the best strikers in the UFC, he is the worst out of the best strikers. Now I'm going to be doing this in multiple parts, and maybe with all the S tier fighters, or maybe with all the A and S tier fighters, I'll do like a tournament and see who will be the best striker in the UFC. But that I will leave that for the future. Now keep in mind, this will be 11 fighters I will be putting up here, so not all of them, far from them. So keep letting me know which fighters I have to put in this list. But for now, let's just get into it. We'll start off with an interesting one. Let's say Corey Sandhagen. Let's see, that's an interesting one. It's a hard one. I'm doing this like blind reaction kind of, by the way, so I might get some wrong, but for now, I'll put them at this is a hard one because he's so good. I'll putting him an A tier because he does like a bit of power in the hands, but he's so good, like super fast, great chin, very technical and everything. So I have to put him at A, but maybe I'll get him down to B, if we get there. Next up, let's say Dustin Poirier. This is an interesting one. Not too high in him. He's a great striker, good power, brawler, of course. I'm putting him at C tier, maybe B, but I'd say above average C. By the way, the fighters that on the left on the tier are better than the fighter that is on the right. So there are also tiers in the tiers. Next up, let's see. Oh, this is an interesting one. Wonderboy Thompson. I'd say at this point, like maybe Prime Thompson, he'd be A tier, maybe even S tier, but at this point he's a bit older. The chin isn't there, the speed isn't there, the power has never been there really. So he's a great fighter that can outstrike, outpoint a lot of fighters, but at this point I feel like Corey Sandhagen is just a tad bit better than him. But still, B tier, of course, is elite. Next up, Umar Nurmagomedov. This is an interesting one. He is very technical. The kicks are amazing, but I'm not too high in the boxing. Of course, last time out, he knocked out Hani Barcelo, so that kind of does get his stock up a bit, but I feel like he isn't a better striker than Dustin Poirier. Pound for pound, I feel like Poirier should be better in the striking. So I'll put him at C tier as well, but I feel like he could be dealt with if it's striking only. Next up, Justin Gaethje, also a very good one. Now this makes me think because I do feel like Dustin Poirier is better than Gaethje in the striking, but I don't know, man. Maybe I fucked it up. Maybe I should have gotten. Yeah, you know what? I'm getting Thompson here. These two I'm putting here because that feels right. This feels right. I feel like these guys, although they are brawlers, their boxing is so good. They know how to use their power, and they just get elite fighters out of there. Like Gaethje just beat Fiziev, and Fiziev is so good, man. It's not that he just has a good chin and just power. He knows how to throw a jab. The uppercuts are amazing. So I'm getting these boys at B tier, and the Wonderboy at A tier just seems right as well. Next up. Oh, Adrian Yanez. Now this is a good one. I feel like his striking is very technical, his power is there as well, but I feel like he does get hit too much. And I feel like that might be a problem with him. I'm putting him at C tier, but that does not. I feel like he's a better striker than Umar. He has better boxing. He has pretty good kicks as well. His defense is good, but he gets hit too much. I don't know what's up with that. Umar doesn't get hit as much, but his power isn't really there. He is more of a question mark kick the whole time kind of guy, and his striking works very good because people are afraid of his wrestling. So I feel like Adrian Yanez is the better striker, not much better. I feel like this fight would be 50-50 on the feet, but I feel like Adrian has just a bit more power, more technical boxing. I just feel like he's the better guy, but he's not as good as these two in my opinion. Yeah. Next up, let's go with Piotr Jan. Tough one. I feel like he's better than Yanez. He's better than Umar. He's also better than these two. Also did outstrike Corey Sandhagen. I'm putting him at 8 here. Definitely above Wonderboy. I don't know, man. He did outstrike Corey Sandhagen, but in my mind, for some reason, I feel like Sandhagen is the better striker. But nah, Piotr Jan, 8 here. Gotta be. Oh, this. It doesn't seem right, but it is right because he did outstrike him. He has good power. He's very technical. Of course, he's lost a few, but that's more because of the wrestling than the striking. He'd still probably Shannon O'Malley. Close. Shannon O'Malley did outstrike him. Oh man, this is a hard one. Nah, you know what? I'm doing it like this. This is a mess. I'm sorry, you guys, but this is a mess. I'm putting these guys right here, and this gets me feeling better. Yeah, I feel like this is right. Gaethje is good, but he just isn't quite as good as Poirier, because Poirier did knock him out. Yeah, so I'm going with this. Next up, Volkanovski. Now, this is going to be the first S-tier fighter. I feel like his striking is just too good not to put on S-tier. I feel like he's so underrated in his striking, man. He's so good. He did get rocked here and there by Islam, but that was more because of the takedown threat, of course, not because he isn't as good of a striker as Islam. He's a much better striker than him. So Volkanovski at S tier. He's very fast, very technical, very smart as well. Like, he knows to go for the legs, how to go to the body. His boxing is so crisp. I have to put him at S tier. I might change that again, but it wouldn't feel right to not put Volkanovski at S tier. Next up, Leon Edwards, still the welterweight champion. He's good. I'm putting him at A tier. Very, very smart fighter. Good game plans. Very slick. Doesn't get hit too much. Is he better than Piotr Jan though? I don't know. I feel like it's close. Piotr, I don't know. Fuck. It's so hard because he's good, but also, is he better than Corey Sandhagen? I don't know. Is he? Yeah, I'm saying that he is. He outstruck Usman, very good, very fast. I'm going with him at A tier. Not because he outstruck Usman, that sounds bad, but I feel like he just belongs there. Next up, Israel Adesanya. I am putting him on S tier as well, obviously. But is he better than Volkanovski? This is a tough question. I feel like if Volkanovski and Izzy fought at the, pound for pound, I feel like Volkanovski will be too smart, too fast. He's very strong as well. So it is striking, so it doesn't matter that much. But I feel like he would be faster. His game plan would be good enough to outstrike Izzy. Whittaker made it look very close against him. I feel like Whittaker made it very close against Izzy, and I feel like Volkanovski should be able to do the same and even win. So I'm going with Volk at S tier. And yeah, I feel pretty good about it, to be honest. Then we got Edson Barboza. This is a tough one because I feel like he is good, but he's only good when you give him the space to be good. But if you crowd him, he loses every time. If you have a good striker that crowds him, like Justin Gaethje, for example, he'll get knocked out like he did. He'll just get beat. And I feel like he just belongs at D tier. He's still elite, but man, his boxing isn't that great. His kicking game, of course, deadly. The low kicks and everything, the spinning kicks. But if you crowd him, he'll lose 90% of the time. So I'm going with him at D tier. He's still good, but whatever. Now we got the last guy. Last guy will be Poatan Alex Pereira, and he has to go on S tier. He has to. But is he better than Volkanovski and Izzy? He did beat Izzy 3 times now. One by decision, 2 by KO. And if we look at the third fight in MMA, because this is MMA, in the third fight, Israel Adesanya almost knocked him out in the first. But after that, he didn't feel comfortable enough on the feet, so he went to the ground with him. And then he still got knocked out. Israel was more in his own flow in his game. He is more experienced in MMA, so he should have been able to tire out Alex Pereira. Now this time around, I feel like Pereira is just the better striker because of his power as well. But that counts as well. So I'm going with him. I feel like he is just slightly better, but that's more because of his power than because of his technique. So I'm going with him, best striker. But I feel like Volkanovski is still too fast, too good. Low kicks, amazing. Just I feel like his game plan would be just too good for Pereira. He would move too much. But Izzy, he's good. His movement is very good, but he isn't as quick in his movement. And he did have success against Pereira, but he got a few leg kicks of his blocked, and that kind of fucked it up for him. But Volkanovski, I feel like he'd be too fast. The jab would be too fast. His head movement would be too good. He's just too smart of a fighter to lose, and I'm very high on him. I feel like he is the best, maybe ever, in the striking. Not because he's that good or that technical or that deadly, but just because he's so smart. Like, this is a crazy thing to say, by the way, when you have Israel Adesanya, you have Pereira, you have Anderson Silva, John Jones, and everything. But I feel like Volkanovski at this point just too fast, too good, too smart, and too good. Yeah, just too good. This is the tier. I feel like Volkanovski is the best of the best. Yeah. The worst in this list is going to be Edson Barboza, but he's still good. Don't get it twisted. He's still amazing. In his prime, I'd put him at D tier as well, because these guys should be able to beat him. If Poirier fought him, he'd beat him. If Gaethje fought him, he'd beat him. Powerful bout, of course. Giannis would beat him. Umar would beat him. Wonderboy would beat him. Piotr would definitely beat him. Leon would beat him. Corey would beat him. And just everyone would. And I will stay behind that. I feel like I will get a lot of backlash for this one, but I feel like Edson Barboza at D tier seems right. But that was it, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep letting me know which fighters I need to put into a next part, and I'll see you guys later.